So we are building a simple to-do list that allows you to reorder the various tasks in a to-do. We've declared the application here in To-Do app, and this matches the declaration of the module here in To-Do app in the index page. So let's create the very first view or HTML page that's going to be displayed. To do that, we're going to use the Angular route library to decide that we're going to display either the list of all to-dos or a view for being able to create new to-dos. Let's just focus on this page, creating this page that just lists all the to-dos. Okay? So to do that, we're going to create a placeholder where we're going to inject this one single file, this one single HTML by using the ng view. Right? So this is the placeholder where we're going to be injecting the various views for listing all the to-dos, or being able to create new to-dos or editing new to-dos and whatnot. This goes using AngularJS as a mechanism for being able to implement single-page applications using the routing mechanism. So everything's going to be injected here. So we need to configure what gets injected depending on as we navigate throughout the website. So to do that, we're going to declare a configuration file that is going to configure what gets injected here. So let's create that config file. So that config file is going to look like config.js. It's going to look like very much like the module we had earlier. It's going to use the iffy expressions, right? That immediately invoked function expressions that protects the rest of the global space from anything that we declare in here. So we have the Angular global space, and we're going to grab a hold of the to-do app module that was declared in app.js. And in here, we're going to configure our application by using .config, and we're going to implement the configuration inside of the config function here. What's going to happen here is that in this function we can ask for all sorts of configuration objects. Route provider, which route provider is one of them, which is this route provider is declared in the routing library or extension library to the Angular core library. In there, we can use that object to configure all sorts of routing configurations, such as we can say that if you see the following pattern in the URL, then the following HTML should be loaded. So you say that the URL of the HTML snippet of HTML that should be loaded is located under a directory called views. Under here, we could maybe put to do, and here put to do dash list.view.client.html. Okay, I'm following a naming convention for these files, right? And I'm putting all the templates, all these HTML templates under the views directory, and under there, depending on what it is that we're manipulating, what entity, what object type are we manipulating. In this case, is a to-do or list of to-dos, and then more or less what the purpose of this page is. In this case, is to list all to-dos. We know that this is meant for representing something to the end user, and it's being rendered on the client. So it's a naming convention that I use very commonly. So there, we need now to actually create this page in the right place. So it should be under views and to do. So let's create directories for views, and under here let's create to do. Right, and under there let's create an HTML page or template, a snippet of HTML, not a full-blown HTML page, called to-do list view client HTML. So it's a snippet, so it's not a full HTML document, right? So we're going to blow away most of this. So for now, let's just do an H1 and say that it is a to-do list, right? So that's going to be included or injected into this ng view whenever the URL has this in as the URL pattern, right? So if we navigate to this index page, hopefully we'll see this page injected inside of this ng view. So let's see, where is that? That's in the public directory, so slash experiments to do. Okay, so let's do that. So it would be localhost 3000, so it would be under experiments. Then to do, let's see. It didn't seem to work. Let's see what's missing. This is complaining. Oh, yeah, so their index page. So the index page is this, right? And then once we're in the index page, the configuration says that I will only show this if this is in the URL. And this configures actually what comes after the hash sign. So the hash sign is the mechanism that Angular uses to identify patterns in the URL. So for instance, if we have here /todo, there we go. So we have the to-do list, and this content is exactly this content over here in the to-do list right here. So the way it works is that we only load one page. That's the whole point of creating a single page application. This is the only page this is the single page that gets ever loaded. And then after that, the various content is loaded depending on what follows after the hash. And so this is mapped. This slash is mapped against the configuration right here. And if that's so, then this is the template that gets loaded and injected in here. Right, there we go. So we have the beginnings of a single page application implemented in Angular. As we go along, we'll see how to render all the content under here.